so for the first thing is I just want to mention, they are working on some stuff, so they still haven't finished yet. They're kind of a little late in the game, but these guys are been going around painting up all the areas I've been noting, but some of the stuff that I'm going to have on the report may not actually be still there because of the stuff that they've done. They got a lot of blue tape on a lot of stuff, but I just got to notate it because we're here. The one thing I did notice is they didn't have a base shoe, and that's right at the cabinet space here on the bottom section, so I'm guessing that's what they're going to be putting in. However, I'm going to notate it on the report. It's also across the sides there. At this window, there's no sill. It's possible when they were going to put it in, they noticed there's a little bit of a bump, so they likely got to shave it down or raise it up or put a filler piece, but whatever reason, they couldn't do that. For the windows for the living room here, there's one broken one, which I believe you already are aware of, and that's likely because of tensioning, because I did notice the same thing on another window, but it didn't break the window, it's just it cannot lift, and I'll get to that in a minute. All of the smoke detectors were tested from the main. As far as the AC was run, I didn't want to run it too long because of the dust still in the air, but it's running at a pretty good optimal area. I'll have the thermal images for you, as well as in the service panel. Breaker box looked good as well. Everything looked like it was brand new. Flooring isn't done yet. There's a lot of, like I said, blue tape as far as walls, some scuff marks. A lot of this stuff, everything in here looks like it was retouched up, so that's good. In here, I couldn't run the tub because the tub's filled up. They have a masonry, they have concrete underneath it, and the tub is being weighed down from the water. So I don't want to have, for liability reasons, we don't want to do that to cause it to lift and then mess with anything if it's still drying and curing. But I did run the shower here. Everything looks like it's working good. It's an on-demand system, so it was at 100 degrees that I had it set at. It was at 100 degrees that it was coming out, so it was pretty accurate. Patchwork still needs to be done, or not patch, but painting on the patchwork that they did there. A couple other spots in different areas, mainly at your baseboards, some scuff marks from hands and such around the edges. There is a couple of spots I'm going to mention on there as far as they missed the paint entirely, and that's just the trim underneath your island in the kitchen. They just got the primer on it. As far as in here, all the outlets were tested, everything's operable, grounding where it needs to be, everywhere. GFCIs, ground fault circuit interrupters in the kitchen, bathroom, exterior, bathrooms, exterior, garage, all correlate to the breaker box inside the service panel, the GFCIs inside the service panel, and then there is a GFCI at the kitchen area, and then one for the Jack and Jill bathroom. And here, that's your air conditioning units inside there. Now in here, the Jack and Jill, careful because they just painting. There is a little leak at the trap underneath here when running it. So you'll notice this little wet spot because they had to put that as a guard, but there is fresh water from when I ran it, and it is leaking at the trap at one of these fittings. It appears to be this one, but they'll be able to figure that one out. As far as blue tapes, we got a lot of blue tape items. Like I said, scuffing marks, basic stuff, nothing major. I did run the tubs in here, the tub in here, and then the tub in the other bathroom. Everything looked like it was working really good, draining wise. The clean out for the home is at the front left side of the home, in case they ever need to get access to it. And the window, sorry, let's walk back to the one window I was going to mention here. I did take the window so they know, and just notated tension can't open. Both of these are open right now, and it's very hard to open, and I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to damage it. This can be just a matter of fixing it without damaging the window. A lot of times it's because of the way they shimmy it, and if they do too much in there, it's going to basically cause tensioning, and when they put this window in is when they find out that, hey, I got a little bit of a bump. It actually looks like a little slight bump there. As far as over here, there's a little bit of the metal piece, probably because someone was probably pulling on it. So there is a teeny bit of damage to this guy here. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it's a mechanism in the channeling. I'll have to look that up. So they just want to get that repaired for you. And I think that was it here. They're painting this guy here. And then in the one bathroom over here, they didn't do the caulk finishes around the windows too. I just be particular about that. Hopefully they get them all. Sometimes they miss them after they do everything. So you just want to run through again after all of it's done and make sure those items that I'm mentioning on the report are finished. Sometimes they can miss a window or two. But over here, they didn't do the sealants yet. They got the finished paints. You just want to make sure they do that, and then they cut in for the other stuff, for the main wall. And, sorry, hard to see on this side. I know he's working, I'm sorry. But if you notice over here, around the windows, they want to caulk seal that area where it abuts the window. And then again, sometimes they can miss them, and there's a lot of windows. So if they do, you just want to bring it out to their attention, and they'll be able to get that taken care of. And here, they'll likely be doing this next. I'm sure he's right there, but caulking, sealing, they have to go in and put in the lightweight spackle and then sand it down and then paint it still. So they just put the baseboard in and finish. Also, all the cabinets don't have the knobs on it yet, likely because they haven't finished all the main blue tape items. Yeah. Still running? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the main blue tape items, I'm sure they'll put them in then. Just want to keep an eye on that. The knobs aren't in yet. And just basic blue tape items in here, overspray spots, basic stuff. So some touch up, nothing major. A little bit around the bell. A couple of spots around the sides. It looks like they blue taped the items. A couple of spots they didn't here though. So it's just a matter of going around, making sure anything discolored. It's oversprayed, so I'm sure they're going to repaint this whole section here. The one thing I did notice here is a couple of areas. The decorative rafter protrusions, for lack of the specific word, I'm sorry, I don't have the terminology in my head right now, but these are foam, and what they normally do is they'll do a stucco overlay, like a thin coat, which I believe is on there now. There's a couple of chips they'll have to repair when they put them in, but they want to seal that up and paint them and finish them off. As far as the stone veneer, which is this stuff here, on this side of your porch area where it goes above the roof line, it's finished right up to the edge. But on this side, and you'll notice even a stone there, so that's a perfect example. So they missed the stone on that section and that one. Oh yeah, that's because that's where the rafters are going to go. Sorry, I'm a little slow. You got the main ones here, so they're going to be putting those in. But you'll see how that scratch is. It's kind of like lines there. That's what you see on this side. They basically they got the corner, but they never finished off right up to the wedge. In any case, if you decided not to do it, or whatever the reason is, you want to make sure that's perfectly sealed, painted, because that's just a concrete coating on it. It's a stucco, what they call a scratch. It's the first coating that before they put either veneer or they do the stucco on it. So you definitely want to have them come out and do that stone for you. And I'll have the photos on the report. Your main clean out, in case you ever need it, is over here. That's your main drain on the corner side of the home. It's a little white thing popping out. In here, they just got some patchwork. They did some touch up before. Your on demand is all natural gas, and that's a steel flex tube inside the attic system, and then that runs to your galvanized abutments there. There's your main for your control valves for the sprinklers. That's the main switch for the home, the service panel. What they call the main switch, it's just the main disconnect. And then you have for the GFCI under, and that's just for this guy. All the circuits are actually inside at the distribution panel. I got photos and thermal on both of the panels. Some scuff marks as you see here. The main thing on the outside isn't so much the scuff marks. That's good to get them taken care of for the aesthetics. But areas where you have the opening areas, mainly at your pipes, not so much here, it's not too bad. But over at the other pipe, right up above me, that's for your water heater. That is definitely something you want to have sealed up nicely, and then they can go ahead and reseal up around the edges here, so that way water doesn't trickle in the future. Other than that, it's just some overspray in the back porch area where they didn't, just like in the front porch area, they just did the texturing, so it oversprayed the walls. They want to come in and take care of all of that.